Hey folks, welcome back to Street Rust. Today we're in the shop downstairs. It's raining outside and it's nasty, so I'm working inside. But anyway, what are we going to do today? Today we're going to tear into a 351 Windsor. It's a 1984. I'm guessing it's out of a truck according to the code on the engine block. Anyway, this thing's been sitting down here for about a year. You know, I get various engines. I've got a 318, which is a early 90s. We're going to take to my son's school where he's doing auto technician and donate it. I wanted it out of here, trying to clean up down here. But this 351's been sitting down here at least a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe two. I don't remember. Time passes and I forget things. Anyway, when I originally looked at this, it came just like this, with the exception of the distributor. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I remember glancing at it going, you know what, I see the what do you call them? Doggone escape. I just had a senior moment, and I'm not a senior yet. I'm getting close. Anyway, had the cross hash things in there. Said, man, this engine's too old to be that good. And I tell you what, we'll go through that story here in a second. So that was always in the back of my mind, so I never really wanted to get rid of this. So we're gonna dig into it. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab the camera. We're gonna get in here close. We're gonna take a look at it. So, you know, a blind squirrel dig enough holes, it'll find an acorn. And I think I found an acorn. First of all, let's talk about distributor. Distributor, here's what's left of it. If this thing, PB blaster, heat, just couldn't get it out. I wound up, I took this off, this broke off, then this broke off, then I finally got that out, and I used a monkey wrench, big monkey wrench, got it loosened up and twisted. It's just boogered up in there, something fierce. And then of course I broke the top of the shaft, so this is trash, maybe with the exception of that gear. But finally got it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and take all this junk, lay it over here on the workbench, just to get you started here. Now, can't see the engine code yet because it's up underneath, and we're not gonna do that yet, but I'll show it to you when we flip this thing over later. Anyway, this is a E4 AE, disregard the rest of the numbers, but it's an 84 truck 2-bolt main. Now, when you go out here, that third digit, the A, you'll get mixed stuff out there, but it's, you know, I understood that this had come out of a truck. Some guy needed some parts off it, etc., etc. Anyway, 240 to 300 horsepower stock, 350 to 410 foot-pounds torque. So that's what we got there. So I'm going to get you set up even better here. And boy, my shop's a mess down here, folks. You know, the bad thing about having a shop downstairs, number one, I got to walk up and downstairs. But number two, all my good tools are upstairs in the garage. Let me get this thing lifted up here, and I'm going to get you a good shot in here because I want you to see. I sprayed some PB blaster down in the cylinders last night and let it soak. And then I came back and shot some WD-40 in there just to keep it lubed up. We'll put a breaker bar on here. Once I got the distributor out, this thing turns over like a charm, exactly like it should. You're seeing all the WD-40 come out. Okay, all right. So let me get this back where I want it so you can see what I want to show you. Bear with me, folks. All the lifters are moving. They're getting stuck up. They're kind of cruddy. But, all right, there we go. We're getting close right there. Okay, all right. So, I got in here digging around last night. Let me get my light out here. I'm going to get you in real close. As soon as I get my light. You know, we've never done this on the channel here. We never really dug into an engine, and we got to do something different. You know what? If you're watching right now, something I'm going to do a little different. not to beg, but please subscribe. It's free to you, abundantly blesses me. We're at about 624 subscriber. That's a blessing. Trying to get to 1,000. That's the first major goal. All right, let's take a look inside the chamber here. Now, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but you can sure see. I hope you guys can see that. You can see those I forgot what you call it. You know what I'm talking about when it's been honed out. So I'm like, no way. You know, this thing is just too old to be that nice. And look at how cruddy it is and everything. So just out of curiosity, and this is what I mean by, you know, a squirrel dig enough holes to find an acorn, a blind squirrel, that is. So I went ahead and cleaned off the top of this piston, and lo and behold, what do y'all see right there? This thing has been rebuilt, and it's bored 30 over. So much like the 383 and the Chrysler, which I didn't know until I pulled the head off, this thing has absolutely been rebuilt. So here's what we're going to do. We just want to see what we got here. Okay, that's the big goal. So we're going to see what we got. What are we going to do? I'll go ahead and probably just do a time lapse, but I'm going to go ahead and get the front part of this off. I'm going to get the lifters out, which they're pretty loose. That shouldn't be a problem. Tell you what, let me just pull one of these lifters out. We're gonna look at every one of these, but I pulled one out. I'm trying to remember which one I pulled out last night. I mean, they come out easy. Let me show you there's that circle. I don't know if that circle in the middle is a manufacturer circle. I don't think so. But hey, these things are not ate up. So we are definitely, I'm not going to keep these in position, because if we decide to not rebuild, if we decide to refresh this engine, I'll put new lifters in. It's cheap enough and it's a safeguard. What else? So we're going to tear the front end of it off. We're going to drain the oil. I'm going to get the battery cable off. I'm going to get the fuel line off. We're going to get the handy dandy dipstick. I don't know how much oil's in it. I literally haven't touched this engine other than putting it on the stand. Let me tell you this though, folks. This thing is doggone 3 miles long, but you can't ever have too many dipsticks, if you know what I mean. So we're going to get to tearing into this. And one other thing I want to show you before we tear into it. So the Windsor block, the Windsor family, 302, 351. How do we know this is a 351 Windsor? Well, we have the engine code, which I'll show you later, but right there, it's a 351W. And there's a couple different ways to tell. The Cleveland, everybody wants the Cleveland. The Cleveland would have this front timing cover would be manufactured into it. It wouldn't be one that came off. That's the easiest way I can tell. There's also, depending on the head you have on it, you can tell by the valve cover bolts, but obviously we don't have any heads. Head gaskets looks pretty good. Let me pull this one up here. I know I'm kind of rambling, folks, but this is pretty cool. Anyway, those head gaskets don't look like there were any major deficiencies here, okay? I can't get that back on. It's going to fall over the place. I don't see any major deficiencies. I don't like the rust part in here. We're going to have to see how that cleans up, and the other side is just as good. So let me get this on a time lapse for you, and I will start tearing into this bad boy. All right, folks, I've managed to break off probably 3 or 4 of these, and I didn't expect anything less. These two in here are going to get me boogered up. So let me work on getting this off. You guys don't, nothing I do is easy. So if you want to, watch me suffer, just keep plugged in. I'm good at it. Be back shortly. All right, folks, that's an hour of my life I'll never get back, but got a little hailstorm going on there. See how big they get. We're in northwest Arkansas. See it on top of the truck bed, right? The toolbox right there. See it up on top of the trailer. Oh yeah, look at this. It's my junk trailer. There's the truck. Moved it down below here. Look at all that hail on the sidewalk there. It won't last long. Usually a tornado comes right after this and just wipes it all away anyway. All right, that's what's going on there. Yep, junk. All right, where are we at? So, like I said, that's an hour of my life I'll never get back. Well, you can already see it. So somebody put a double roller on there. It's a little loosey-goosey. I don't know if, regardless, if we decide to rebuild this, we'll be replacing all that. What I don't like, the fuel pump eccentric here, that's a little too loose for my liking. I don't think that's supposed to be like that. So anyway, timing cover. Of course, I broke off, just like a 302, same Windsor family, broke off a bolt underneath here. When I was taking the water pump off, broke off like half the bolt. You guys saw some of that pain. And then the big one was this one right here, which is frozen, rusted in, and that happens a lot. And of course, this cover's shot. It's broken. Had to beat it to get it off. The front seal is boogered up. I'm sure it was leaking all over the place. Heck, is there even a seal on there? Yeah, there is. But this one was froze in here, so what I had to do, I got the death wheel, and I went ahead and cut the bolt. I cut the bolt right through there, and it's right here. Now, it wasn't stuck in here. This thing comes out pretty easily. Just wanted to share that with you. Not a problem there. So, but what I'd rather beat on this and pay $100 to replace this, which is what we'll have to do. The harmonic balancer just came off super smooth, no problems there. So in order to get this off, the pressure sensor for the oil pressure sensor, this has got to come off. But before I pull that off, we're gonna drain the oil. So that's probably what we're gonna do next. The dipstick won't pop out. And I don't, oh, you know what? That is threaded in there. Looky there, and it's loose. Never mess with a Windsor. I've done a couple 302s. So this thing, you guys can't see it. I'll show it to you here in a minute. I didn't want to booger it out. If it was a tapping kind, I was going to tap it from the inside when we pulled the pan. Yeah, looky there. Screws in. That's pretty cool. All right. I went ahead and took the engine mounts off. I went ahead and took off the ground cable. So hopefully that's all the fighting we need to do. I may have to put the impact on there to get that off just because, why just because? Oh, because it'll probably turn over when I crank on that. So I'm gonna put you back in the stand here. We're gonna play a little bit. I'm gonna get you down here a little closer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and get the oil draining, get that oil filter off. We'll get the lifters out. Then we're going to flip this bad boy upside down and take the oil pan off. And we may pull a couple main caps just to see what's going on. And I want to take the cam out. We're going to take the cam out because if I get super lucky, they'll put a comp cam in this or something like that. You bore it 30 over, you put a double roller on it. What else did they do while they were in there? So nonetheless, let's see what size this is. And Yeah, that's a big one. That's about the best I got right now, folks. And of course, I'm not going to have anything down here that's even remotely close to that. So what do? I can try the little crescent wrench I got here. Let's see how that'll work. I'm sure this is not on very tight. Oh, amazing. Amazing. Okay, now is there going to be any oil in here? I want to drip right in there. I'm sure that's going to fall, but you know what? We'll deal with that. I know y'all can't see me, but you can hear me. And let's see what we got. Get the leaf out of there. We got to recycle this oil. We don't want leaves in it. Ooh, it sure feels like water. There was a little, ooh. Are y'all seeing this? Yeah, I think there was a little water in that block. Yeah, you guys can see it drip down there. That's about all that's all there was. It was just some, hate to call it this, but it was just some splooge. So, well, there it went. The splooge is weighing on it. All right, good enough. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Wow, whoa. There it is. There it is. Once it got the splooge out, looked like a cow birthing right there. But we'll let that drain. Yeah, a good amount of oil in there. That's good news. And it's black. There was some water in there, folks. So that means that we probably got some rust in there. We're just going to have to see what we got. Drain it right into that hole right there. And, all right. So, I am going to set a block of wood under this just to level it out a little bit. Yeah, so there was a good, I mean, it was full of oil. No doubt about it. There you go. That'll work a little better. I don't want that oil all over the floor. I don't mind a little bit. All right. While that's doodadding, let's pull these lifters out. Make sure you guys can see okay. Yep. Let me get you in there a little closer while we do this. A little closer. There you go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and keep these. I'm going to keep them in order, but it really doesn't matter. Let me get a pen here. Just in case something happens. I really don't worry much about keeping lifters in order, but we'll call this the back. I'm writing on my little piece of paper towel here. And these should not be difficult at all, because it was pre-lubed up. That's what you want to see right there. I mean, that's, woo. I'll take a closer look at these lifters. I hate to reuse them with an engine that's in this condition. Now, granted, I won't throw them away because these will go in the 302, probably a 289. No problems there. No problems there. No problems there. There. Everything looks pretty good. This one's got that little circle on the bottom. I don't know if that was a machining deal. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get these set over here. We'll pull out the others. Looks like the oil's about done. We're just cooking with Crisco now. My gloves all tore up. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's pull the other side here. Okay, we'll start with this one. Man, this is the way lifters should come out. I paid the price on that timing cover. I guarantee that. That was no fun. I got better things to do than deal with that. But this is awesome. These things are just coming out like butter. Okay. No problems there. That's where it was sitting on the cam. No problems there. And I'm just going to keep moving them over here. All right, no problems there. Can't wait to dig into this. And no problems there. That's just where it was sitting on the cam. Those look pretty dang good. I might have to just clean those and use them again. We'll have to see. All right. Let's get that drain plug back in. Where'd I put it, folks? Where'd I put the drain plug? Don't hurt yourself like that, folks. I know I set it on the bench here. Just the question is where? All right. Tell you what. Give me a minute. I'm going to get the, oh, there's the drain plug. It's right there on the floor. I don't have a oil filter wrench down here. I may have to go upstairs and get one. Let's put this back in. Yeah, we got quite the mess, folks. But that's all right. That's part of it. I'm not going to get this super tight. I'm just going to snug it up. All right, good enough. All right. Let's see if this how this oil filter is going to treat me. I don't even know if you guys can see the oil filter. I'll back you back out. All right. Let's see what it's going to do for us. Oh, looky there. I need to get that out of the way. This has got to be out of the way. Just a second. I know I'm walking in front of the camera, folks. I apologize. You'll be all right. All right. This, I tried loosening this, then realized it hits the oil filter. Okay, man, could y'all imagine trying to do this in the vehicle with, you know, these timing covers on these small block Fords? I mean, that's granted, the distributor's in the front, and that's good, but doggone, it's a pain in the doggone butt with those timing covers. We might, you know, I don't know. We're gonna see. I'm gonna see if I can cut that open. We'll deal with that later. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way since there's no oil coming out of there. I'm sure we're gonna get some spillage, but nonetheless, let's see if we can flip this bad boy upside down. Get all this chain out of the way. It's a chain I've been looking for. I've been missing. Now, I ain't never done this with this engine, so I want to be careful. See what we got leaking out. I don't think there's any water in it. We'll see. All right. Yeah, there's some antifreeze. I'll sweep some. Ain't too much, but it's green. All right. All right, that'll hold it. All right. Tell you what, folks, I'll be back in just a minute. I'm gonna get. We'll get this oil pan pulled off. We'll get the oil sending unit pulled off, and I'm gonna go ahead and get everything loosened up. You guys don't need to watch that. I'm sure it would excite you, but we'll be back in just a second. Okay, we're back. I got all the bolts out. You can see I haven't taken it off. I want you guys to see this with me. Let's see if we can do this. Woo! Oofta. Well, that's part of the seal. Well, let's see if we can crack her open gently here. There we go. There we go. Nice and gentle like. Okay. Let's see what we got. You know, the way that front mainsail look. I would imagine the back, looking at all the oil on this, the back mainsail was leaking as well. You just never know, but you just never know. All right, so I guess I can put the bolt back in there. Let me get the bolt and put it back in there. Let's see what we got. Let's turn this over a little bit. But it is a 2-bolt main. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Let's it's oh, it's sploogey. That's the word of the day, folks. Hope it doesn't offend anybody. That's not the intent. But look at the pickup for the oil. I mean, there was some water in there. I don't think nothing from the head gasket looks like it was leaking. I think somebody pulled the heads. Water got in it, but fortunately there was enough oil in here that saved everything. I mean, it is definitely snasty. I'll tell you what I'm going to do before we do anything. I'm going to run upstairs, excuse me, get a break of a break of can cleaner. I'm going to get a can of brake or carb cleaner, and we'll come down. We'll spray this down a little bit. Be back in just a jiffy. I got to go dodge the. I think it quit hailing. We should be okay. Okay, you know one thing we didn't do? We didn't look at the inside of the oil pan. Let's take a look at it. It's, you know what? I've seen worse, seen better. It's a little sludgy. You can tell there was some water in there. That's where everything had settled, so not a big deal there. Looks pretty good. All right, let's just kind of clean this up a little bit. Should all, well, it'll drain under the pistons. Oh, that's so nasty. All right, just get it a little cleaned up. There's some sludge in there. So we can take a look. Because I do want to get this cam out. We'll pop back, turn it back over here in a couple of minutes. All right, looking better, looking better. Are these marked? I don't see. Yeah, they are marked. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the end cap. And they've got arrows, so we're good there. All right, we're going to pop off. I'm going to get the oil filter off at least. Let's see. Yep, I want to take that whole thing off. So let's get that off. Waste of the can. Let's just get this whole thing off here. And we'll go ahead and take off the number 3 main cap, okay? Just to, I know you can't see my head, but I want you to see the engine, not my head. That's going to be 9/16. That's going to be 9/16. Of course, that won't work. Let's see if this will work. There we go. Very good. All right, got to get some leverage here. There we go. Not too bad there. We can pop this open later too. It's got the tag on it and everything. DA83, I'm going to guess that's probably DM83. D is probably, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I'm speculating again. Conjecture, you know, get you in trouble. All right. I know you can't see. I'm just loosening the bolts here on the oil pump. I want to get a good look at this. Come on now. There you go. Okay. I've got to bust that loose there too. I just want to take the whole thing off together. So I'm going to flip this over on dry ground, if you will, and just set all that in there. I think that's it, right? That should do it. Come on now, you can do it. I gotta get a wash tank if we're gonna do this, folks. We'll see. Oh, you can hear that rain coming down now. All right, so obviously I don't know anything about this fuel pump. It's loose. It should. Probably gonna need a little bit of persuasion. There we go. Where's that rod? There you go. That's what's the rod for your distributor. Ooh, that's nasty. Let's get that set down in here. And I am going to take, well, we're going to bust this one loose. I'm going to leave that on there for now. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Making a mess, folks. I don't know how these guys on make these channels keep all this stuff clean. I guess if this is what you had to do all day long. All right, let's see what we got here. You could do that, but I clean it up, that's for sure. Well, that ain't even close to being big enough. Let's see if, what is this, 7/8? That's too loose. I don't have impact socket down here, so 7/8, we'll try 3/4 and this one. Yep. What is that? Whew. My bifocals are failing me, folks. 13/15, that doesn't even seem right. No, I don't want to booger that up. All right, folks, let me get the right socket for this. I don't like. We'll try it. Let's see what happens. Let's get my breaker bar here. Come on now. Oh, gonna need a deep well. Doggone it. Wouldn't you know it? All right, folks, so we are gonna have to stop for a second. Let me run upstairs, get some more tools. All right, folks, just so you know what's going on. It got eerily dark outside. It's only 4:31, but severe thunderstorm warning in effect to this area until 5:15 for destructive capital letters, baseball size hail. And oofta. So we'll just keep rocking, see what happens. All right, got me a deep well socket here. We're about done anyway. I'm gonna have to take that off. I'm gonna lose that, I know. I can just feel it. Where'd I set that doggone breaker bar, folks? All right. Boy, that don't feel right, does it? There we go. Okay, now, see if I can do this with just this wrench. I know I'm blocking your view. Oh, ain't gonna happen. Oh, there went the power. All right, folks, there went the power. It's back on now. It's off, it's on. Don't have my breaker bar down here. So let's do the next best thing. Let's take, let's see if we can, oh, there went the power again, folks. That ain't me, and it ain't you. You're not like passing out and stuff. You know what I'm trying to do here. I just can't remember how to do it. All right. There we go. All right. Woo! Not like having the right tool for the right job, right, folks? You do what you got to do. Got to keep an eye on the weather for sure. All right. Well, let's spray this down with WD-40. All right. Nice and oily. Oh, there went the power again. There it went. It's back on. You're all right. Everything's gonna be all right. You know what? If this isn't live action, I don't know what is. Okay. We're gonna try a rubber mallet. See if it'll do it or not. Nah, it did it. It moved it a little bit. There we go. All right, let's see what we got. Arrow should be pointing that way. This is number 3. You know what? There's a little bit of scuffing. I'm gonna let y'all see this. All right. There's a little bit of scuffing here, but not too shabby. All right. And there's absolutely no catching spots on this. I would probably venture to say that we would want to go ahead and, since we're in here, go ahead and change these. Now I'm curious, because I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to take one of these out, and I'm not gonna do it right now. See if these are, because it's probably stamped on the inside of it that we can't see. If these, see if these are over as well. Oh, come on now. Let me see if I can pop this out. We'll take a look at it real quick. Yeah, we'll get back to that later. I won't waste your time here. We need to see, but you know what? I need to know. So I'm gonna have to pop this out. There it went. There it went. Nice and easy. Got to clean it off, folks. Let's see what we got here. There it is. That doesn't tell me anything. Ooh, oh, ooh, ooh. Y'all got to see this. Power brake. Let's take a break. That's some good size hail right there. Oh, man. Woo! Y'all get hailstorms where you're from? Look at there. Woo! Let's look out here. You'll see, you'll see it better on the concrete. Look at there. That's about dime-sized hail. Ooh. All right, folks, I am going to take a break. My wife is in Portland, Oregon, visiting her sister, and my daughter's upstairs, and I'm going to take a break right here and just get eyes on the weather radar. We'll be right back. All right, folks, the looks like the hailstorm has, the cell of it has passed us, which is good. We got quite a bit of hail. Quite a bit. Let's, yeah, and this is the downstairs shop, and it's a mess. I got rear ends, I got leaf springs, I got wood, I got junk. It is what it is. All right, there you go. So, definitely not baseball size. You know, pea size. But nonetheless, that's the most hail I've seen since I've lived on this property for nigh on 8 years. So, wonderful. But yeah, I tell you what, it cooled down quite a bit. That's good. All right. Where were we? We were looking at this. I'm trying to see somewhere on this that it tells me I'm just gonna have to clean the no. Oh, is that? I bet that's 10 over right there. I bet that's 10 over on the crank. This is a steel forged crank. Okay, see if you guys can see this. I don't know if it'll focus or not, but there's a L010 on there. I'll have to confirm that, but that would indicate to me that these are 10 over on the crank. But don't know for sure, and I'll have to confirm that. But it looks like, sounds like pretty much that's it. That's what's going on. So, come on now. Trying to get this back in. Okay, there we go. All right. Now that I got my hands all greasy. Anyway, arrow pointing that way. I'm going to go ahead and just set this back in here. Looks good. Little scuffy, but nothing. I mean, you know, the way that oil looked, is that really that surprising? So, we'll go ahead and just put this back on here. I do want to pull one of the, we're going to pull one of the rod ends. You know what? I need to turn that weather down. The gist of the storm has passed us, so. All right. But the hail seems to still be in that destructive range. I'm gonna go ahead and put on a pair of gloves here. You know what, folks? We checked that out. We'll be right back. I got to call one of my kids and check on them. All righty. Thank you for the intermission. Kind of a crazy afternoon here. Just had to check on all the kids, make sure everybody was adult kids. Okay. Okay. Let's get this rod cap off. I'm gonna kind of keep everything in order here. All right. Let's see if that's gonna come off. So far, everything looks pretty good. You know what? I don't know if that's gonna come off that easy, guys. We'll do it that way. Whatever way it takes, right? There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. I want to keep this, well, okay, I want to keep this oriented correctly. There's the doggone bearing. Come on! Stop it. I'll get a screwdriver. I'm not scraping it. I'm just gently lifting up on it just to get it. You know, I don't think that's spun. Because that's going all the way around, but it's going all the way around. It's going all the way around because I've got the piston knocked down. If I take that piston all the way out, then I'm gonna, yeah, there's the other one. Man, I can't believe I just did that. There we go. Can't get this sucker out of here. Got a little vacuum on it. There we go. Come on. I know you guys are screaming I'm using a screwdriver in here, but promise I'm not touching the crank. There we go. There we go. Come on. All right, there we go. All right, I want to keep this oriented as well. All right. Oh, it's got the tab on it, so it shouldn't matter. Let's see if this tells us anything. I'm going to suspect that it's 10 over as well. And, well, first of all, you can see the condition of it. Not bad. But I don't see anywhere on here where there's a marking to indicate it might be on there. Yeah, it's on there. Let me get a green scratch pad on that. Boy, it's just so hard to tell. It's so stinking hard to tell. I'm gonna have to look at some of the others because I can see a part number on there and I might be able to cross reference there, but it's so wore off. I'm pretty sure, you guys aren't going to be able to see this. I can't even see it with my bifocals, but I'm pretty sure that's a 10 over. So we'll see. All right. So there's my little, there's enough oil in there. We're not, I'm just putting this back together. We're not doing anything stupid. Tell you what, I'm gonna pop that piston back up, and then we'll come back. We're gonna flip this over. Tell you what, I'll get that put back. I'll get this cranked over. I'll get the bolt loosened on the front of the cam for the sprockets, and then we'll pull that off and we'll pull the cam out and see what we got. So that'd be the last thing we do. Be back in just a second. Okay, got the timing chain. It's not marked. It's a part number. I'll cross-reference that, but we'll be replacing that for sure. It was in time. The marks were lined up. I will, you know what, something like this, when I'm reviving a vehicle, I'll keep those parts. I keep everything. It's pretty dang obvious from the looks of my shop. But got that off. Got the retain plate off of the cam. We're going to go ahead and pull the cam out and see if we got anything special here. I got a bolt on here. And I want to take it nice and easy. That bolt helps me Really, you're not going to be able to see these cam gears until if we take out the pistons and everything, and we'll see. Usually on the end of the cam, there we go, there's some kind of indication of what we got, and I don't see anything special. There's there ain't much on there, folks. You can see, ain't much on there. There's a couple numbers on there, but I'm going to go ahead and say that this is probably a stock cam. There's some numbers on here. I'll have to look at these. And I think that says, nah, I don't know what I think it says. So anyway, I'm going to have to set this somewhere where I don't get it all beat up. So for now, I'm going to set it right here on the bench so I can knock it over. So, all right, I think that's about it, folks. I would like to know what you all think. I desperately want to know what you all think. Is this a project? We didn't take this off, but you know, no big deal there. It'll come off. Anyway, let's take another round here. We're looking pretty good on side of the cylinder walls. There is absolutely no ridge whatsoever, and I can't tell. That can't be a sleeve because it's 30 over, and it's bored 30 over. Looks to be a pretty good block. The bearings look good. We definitely would want to tear this thing all the way down. Probably new bearings, new rings, get it cleaned up. We could do that in-house. You know, get all the guts new, get it cleaned up. And we could probably find some, like I said, some GT40 heads out of the salvage yard, get an intake and carb, and we'd have a pretty good engine here. I've got a flywheel over here on my shelf of my parts. It's a 302 flywheel. I have to see if that's interchangeable. You know, I keep parts. That's all there is to it. So we got quite the mess here. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing this. Please let me know what your thoughts are, okay? I want to know what your thoughts are. Let me know if, sorry, I got grease all over my hands. I want to grab my camera. But would like to know what your thoughts are. What would you do with this if you had it versus going out? I mean, this alone, probably this engine is $400 or $500. You might get lucky and find it for $200 or $300, but we could do this. We could probably do a cam and some heads, and you know, be pushing 350, 375 horsepower or a little more, depending on the setup. What we do. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe. Once again, I've asked. I'm going to continue to ask because that's the whole purpose of what I'm doing here. I know you don't have to subscribe. I would appreciate it if you would. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you in some upcoming videos. We've got the Chrysler uncovered is probably all dinged to crap now from the hail, and I've got some more stuff. We're going to rat rod the truck, and probably Memorial Day weekend you might be seeing another vehicle. Might. So please subscribe. Please be blessed.